Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you had a good night, good night's sleep. And I'm sure, like everybody else, you're all ready to go home, even though it's a little sad. But, in any case, let me see. So, time. Thank you. So, PM. Okay. It is 9:03 p.m. This is according to Teresa. Yeah, because it says PM right here, so that's what I have for. What was AM when you wrote it? That doesn't help. It's probably 9:04 a.m. at this point in time, Wednesday, April 16, 2025. The parliamentarian for this meeting is Debbie Cedar. How about a nice name? Our sergeants at arms for this meeting, you guys put your hands up. Ray Brentsy, Barry Johnson, Patty Green, and Vernon Jones. We will now have a roll call of all attending BOG members. Just signal with a yo or something. Here we go. Ray Brentsy. Here. Jeremy Butler. Here. Barry Clasper. Here. Tom Davis. Here. Patty Green. Eric Hennerla. Mike Hogan. Yeah. Barry Johnson. Here. Vernon Jones. Here. Shauna Carey. Hunter Keller. Ted Lazant. Here. Barry Miller. Here. Tony Oxendine. Jack Platties. Here. Bob Riggs. Here. Justin Russell. Here. Mike Sikorsky. Here. Wendy Vandermeulen. Here. Buddy Weaver. Here. Dottie Welch. Here. CALLERLAB currently has 579 voting members. 196 voting members registered to attend the convention. 191 voting members are required for a quorum. Due to that fact, we will now take account of the voting members present to determine if a quorum has been met. The chair notes that if there is less than 1/3 of the eligible voting members present at this time, oh, no, I got one of two choices. It's one of those choose your own adventures. Okay, so again, if you're a voting member, we're going to ask you to raise your card. The sergeant at arms will point at you. As they point at you, please lower your card. Thank you.
Got you, Dottie.
All right, thank you. I know that takes a little while. We have 161 voting members. That means I read paragraph 1. The chair notes that there are less than 1/3 of the eligible voting members present at this meeting. Therefore, in accordance with the bylaws, the only business which may be conducted at this annual meeting are the issues published in the call to convention. The chair notes that there was one resolution published in the call to convention in the January-February 2025 issue of direction. Therefore, a vote on this issue and this issue only will be taken at this meeting. We all good with that? All right. Be VIP recognition. Before we get to the CALLERLAB business, we'd like to invite VIPs from other organizations to share a report with attendees. That is completely optional. But as it could be a long afternoon, please limit your comments as close to 1 minute as possible. We have 2 microphones, one over there and one over there, so if anybody with the VIP badge would like to make a comment or so, you are more than welcome to at this time. He continues to stall while somebody makes their way to the microphone. State your name and who you are.
This is on this. Al Hipkins with CALLERLAB, also representing NCORDA, which is the Northeast Council of Round Dance Teacher Associations. First, on behalf of CALLERLAB, we'd like to congratulate Ways and Means' successful campaign. That was really impressive. $100,000 into a coffers is an excellent thing. CALLERLAB would like to say, for the first time in a long time, we are very happy to say, last year we had a net increase in membership. And lastly, I'd like to say that NCORDA is sponsoring first annual New England Cure School in association with the New England Square Round Dance Convention. We have 9 students signed up right now, which is excellent. It's more than we thought we'd get. And we're hoping to continue this every year and increase the number of cures, at least in the New England area. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Al. Ray?
Ray Brenson, representing the Canadian National Association. We're having our Canadian National in British Columbia, the city of Penticton in 2026, and you're all invited. I'm program chair, and I'd love to put you all on the program. Please plan on joining us.
Thank you, Ray.
Mike France, representing ECTA.
Need to get a little closer to the mic. Mike.
Okay. Try to do this.
Pick it up.
Oh,
Try
work
to
with
do
this
it.
way.
Michael France, representing ECTA. I really like to say thank you for this 50th convention. I know myself, doing a convention is a lot of work, and it seems for me you've done a really good job. Everybody who's doing in the planning and organizing. If everybody is interested in how European conventions are doing, ECTA is holding conventions too. So I invite you to be there if you want to. Thank you.
Anybody else? Not seeing anybody trying to get up, so I will move along this page. Where?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, please. Go ahead. You're late, 2 minutes. Go ahead.
We're Art and Lily Harden. We're the general chairman for the 76th National Square Dance Convention. And we would like to thank you for having us. And we'd also like to thank all the callers for everything they do to support and advance square dancing. In addition, we would like to invite everybody here to attend the 76th National Square Dance Convention and dance in the heart of the Rockies with us on June 23rd through the 27th, 2027. So you got lots of time to plan.
Thank you.
From Japan. On behalf of JSD, I am pleased to announce the 2 events in Japan. This year, National Square Dance Convention will be held in Nagano, in that part of the East Prefecture in Japan. It is held from September 5 to 7. Then there are wonderful optional tour. It is a very special tour because in Japan there are, do you know the permanent, you know, there are such optional tour on the ship in the river. You can see that scene in the night with a fire. That's a very good opportunity, even me. Special event. And also, next year's national convention is held in Yokohama. It is held in September 11 to 13. And second event, Ninja Japan, will be held next year, January, from 10 to 11. And previous party and after party will be held with Ted Resort and Tokyo Shinai and Teresa, part of the party. So please come to Japan for the CALLERLAB Japan event. Thank you.
Scott Sandy Ebright. We are the representatives from the USDA, United Square Dancers of America. We're the Central Region Vice Presidents. And we'd like to report that we are seeing numbers go up. We're seeing new clubs being formed. Better progress than what we've seen since the COVID thing and all the decline. And we want to thank all of you because without callers, we can't have those new clubs. And we really appreciate the working together that we have with the working relationship we have with CALLERLAB, and we'd like to continue that. And if you have any suggestions, positive ones, I don't want to have to switch my wristband. Come see us and talk to us after the meeting. Thank you.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
I'm as a representative of Tokyo Square Dance Scholars Associations. And I bring the message from the president of the TCA in the release. At this convention, we heard that the proposed revision of the program policies statement will be discussed. We hope the lively discussion will result in a meaningful outcome. In addition, CALLERLAB Japan will be held for the first time in January 2026. We are looking forward to this event and eager to participate to make it a grand success. Finally, we wish CALLERLAB continued growth success. Takako Suzuki, President of Tokyo Square Dance Scholars Associations. She said at this year's Square Dance All Japan Square Dance Convention, and next year is will held in Yokohama in September. And that Yokohama is my responsibility areas. So prepare to next year Yokohama, and now it's a lot time to you're prepared to considering to registration. So everyone welcome to that Yokohama convention next year. Thank you.
Claudia and Gary Lester, we're General Chairman 75th. We're going to have a great big Texas Square Dance party in Waco, Texas next year. We are so happy to be here. We greatly appreciate the work of all these callers and everything that they do to be able to do what they do for us. We couldn't dance and have fun on the floor if we didn't have y'all to call for us. What y'all need to do and get ready for, I need all of y'all to come because I'm going to need you because we're expecting over 3,000 square dancers at our convention.
Ted. Thank you, Ted. Ted Connie Hoffmeister, we are General Chairman of the 74th National Square Dance Convention, and we We have just barely over 2 months before it gets. Of course, we hope you'll come and see Allie and Gator and all of us as we come and dance on the wild side just a bit. This is our third CALLERLAB convention. I know the first one, I think we were the only convention represented, and now there's all three here, which is fantastic. And we've always had a great time. Appreciate your support. And I was afraid that Ted might be concerned that I might roll out, some of you that were at the last national might roll out from under his table. But on the other hand, when you dance on the wild side, you do things differently. So come see us and have a great time. And you can zip line over the gators. Okay.
Nobody ever believes the stories I tell about this place. All right, at this time I will ask our Executive Director, Teresa Berger, in case you didn't know, to provide our general reports. How about a nice hand for Teresa?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The 2024-2025 membership year ended March 31st, 2025, with a total membership of 1,332 members. This is compared to 1,260 members in 23-24. This includes 1,107 U.S. members, 185 overseas members, and 40 Canadian members. We have 699 less than 50 dance licenses, 287 over 50 dance licenses, 69 country western licenses, and 10 reciprocal licenses. We currently have 579 voting members. This year we had 383 convention registrations for the 50th CALLERLAB convention. We already have 100 registered attendees for the 51st convention scheduled for 2026. The corporation ended the 23 fiscal year with total assets of $220,195.74. This includes a cash balance of $167,444.20. The fiscal year 2023 profit loss statement shows a net gain of $5,165.04 as compared to a net gain of $10,978.82 in fiscal year 2022. The home office remains focused on managing operating expenses, including rent, utilities, phone service, mailing costs. The continued use of electronic distribution for all of our communication continues to play a valuable role in helping to reduce our expenses. And now I will turn it back over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Committee reports. Normally at this time we would invite our committee chairs and vice chairs to share reports from their committee. However, in the interest of time and to be respectful for your busy schedules, we're going to defer those updates to the upcoming flash direction. This way, all members of CALLERLAB will have easy access to the information, whether they're here with us or following along from afar. But before we move on, let's give a big shout to all of our committee chairs and vice chairs. Your work is the heartbeat of the member. Couldn't do it without you guys. All right. Is there any unfinished business to be brought before this assembly? There being none, we will proceed to new business. It's a good thing I did those books. You know the ones you had to swivel. All right, anyways. At this time, I'd like to introduce the newly elected and re-elected members of the board. Board members who were re-elected to a 3-year term are, and please stand and I call your name, Ray Brenzy, Patty Green, Mike Hogan, Mike Sikorsky, and Wendy Vanderbilt. Newly elected to the board for the first time, Mickey Braithwaite. Returning to the board, Harlan Kerr. Incumbent members of the board are Jeremy Butler, Barry Clasper, Tom Davis, Barry Johnson, Vernon Jones, Shauna Carey, Hunter Keller, me, Bear Miller, Tony Oxendine, Jack Platties, Justin Russell, Buddy Weaver, and Dottie Welch. This year there are 2 board members retiring from the board, as you heard last night, Eric Hennerlaw and Bob Riggs. So thank you for your service. To administer, all right, yeah, go ahead. I do not want to dissuade any excitement. To administer the oath of office, our Executive Director, Teresa Berger.
If the board members would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Accept this position of trust. As a serious responsibility. And pledge my services. During my term. On the CALLERLAB Board of Governors. I will put the welfare of my fellow members before my personal feelings. I will support the decisions of the majority. And abide by the CALLERLAB Code of Ethics. All this I pledge as my support of the ideals of CALLERLAB. Congratulations, board members. Ladies and gentlemen, I present your Board of Governors for the 2025-2026 year.
Again, many thanks to Bob and Eric for all they've done, and welcome to all you new guys. We'll see you in a few hours, and we'll get started right away. Okay, at this time, we will open new business. As I noted, there was one resolution published in the Call to Convention in January-February 2025 issue of Direction, which requires action by the membership. The resolution is to update the program policy statement. This resolution is submitted to the membership by the Board of Governors in its entirety as it was sent to the entire membership for discussion. There was a period for online feedback from the membership. The feedback can be viewed on the CALLERLAB website. See the registration desk if you have any questions. Right now, they should. All right. Debs? I couldn't tell what that was. All right, sorry. Debbie Cedar, parliamentarian, will read the resolution into the record. All yours, Deb.
Resolution to amend the CALLERLAB program policy. The following resolution is submitted by the Board of Governors for consideration by the CALLERLAB membership. Whereas it is CALLERLAB's objective to establish and maintain modern Western square dance programs, and whereas current entry-level programs overly fracture the dancing population, and whereas a standardized worldwide entry program is both beneficial for the entire activity and future caller training, and whereas from a call count perspective, CALLERLAB acknowledges that call families have existed since the inception of the first lists, and whereas the program following the entry level should be of equal or larger size, therefore, the Board of Governors approves moving the following resolution forward for consideration by the CALLERLAB membership. Be it resolved that the program policy statement be revised as presented to the membership in draft E.
Okay. So I'll go over everything. I know Teresa already did this on Monday morning with the morning meeting for you, but just so we're all on the same page. As a reminder, there was an online resolution feedback. We extended it from 1 week last year to 2 weeks this year, giving everybody an opportunity to go out there up to 1,500 characters and put out what they wanted. We had 76 people take on advantage of that, and it was about 13% of the membership. I'm assuming at this time most of you have made up your mind. It's been a year. However, the way this works, we're going to have the pro side of the mic over to my left, con side of the mic over to my right. As Teresa had mentioned on Monday, we're going to limit the time to 1 minute on the microphone. If you choose to use it, you do not have to. Again, please realize most of the room has probably already decided one way or the other. You're talking to I guess what we consider the undecided voters, those that are going to make up their mind in the next however long it is. If you feel your point has already been made sufficiently, please be respectful of everyone's time. But again, you can all, every single voting member, if you would like to, get up and speak at that microphone. So, I think that is it. So again, we will have the pro mic over there, we will have the con mic over there. You can form a line down the wall if that's necessary for you to do that. And we will get started. Are we ready? Oh, is there any discussion about that? You think this is easy? I'm supposed to say, is there any discussion? And that evidently starts this, not let's go. Okay, I've got my stopwatch. Again, I'm not going to go too crazy, but for the sake of everybody, please try to keep it within the time limit. Mary, we'll start with you.
Thank you. Mary Jingle, Sunnyvale, California. The proposal is a well-intentioned but poorly conceived attempt to provide for the future of square dancing. With SSD in place, we already have an entry-level list of about 50 calls. Let's give SSD a chance to work. It's already being used as an entry program in California, and from what I've heard from other callers here this week, in other areas as well. Mainstream callers, beware. If the proposal passes and is implemented, mainstream as you know it will cease to exist. You will lose about 15 calls. This change could significantly affect your site calling, your modules, other written material you may have, and your singing calls. If this is not what you want, if this is not what you think your dancers want, or if you have further questions or concerns, I urge you to vote no. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mary. Mr. Seastrom.
We have the best social recreation on the planet, and we have a golden opportunity to universally create a program that we can start more than once a year. And if you're starting your new dancer program only once a year, you need to seriously consider that this proposal is our opportunity to grow the activity for the future. We need to open up our doors more than once a year. As Ted pointed out last night, no matter how this vote goes, we need to support the decisions of the majority, hang in here, and keep the work of CALLERLAB going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Dave.
Take care of Seattle area. I want to just add that with the basic mainstream program that we have right now, I can, in one weekend, teach people to get to basic 1, and there is a destination program for them. With your proposal, I've got to teach for 15 weeks before I get them to a destination program. And it seems to me like that's kind of on the wrong side of progression. It seems like we want to get people into this activity as fast as we can and provide a program for them as fast as possible. And I don't see that with this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gary Belkin in the Maryland area. I'm very much in favor of this proposal. This is a proposal that's going to create change. A lot of people don't like change. It's going to be uncomfortable for some people. Some of our dancers may get mad at us. That's never happened before. But this change has the potential for us to reverse the trend of losing dancers. I would like it to happen before I'm the only dancer in the hall. This will give us more people. It'll give us double the number in a fairly small window when you look at dancing from the 60s to now. That's our downhill trend. In 3-5 years, we're going to see doubling, at least. So I'm very much in favor of this.
Thank you, Gary. Jim.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Jim Wass from Gary's area of Maryland. I rise squarely in the middle on this one. Back in 1995, the program proposal to split 50-50 didn't seem to have anything outside of that one premise, fixing the lists. The 1999 T2000, we went 113-113 because once again, we didn't believe you, not you individually, but the you who were pushing that change. This time, I could debate every single one of the whereases, and if we send that out and draft to the membership, maybe that's going to be the result of this, but it presents the various things that we may need to consider as we try to implement something like that, including growing callers. And I think I'm out. So once again, I urge everybody to think of this. Have they given us enough promise of a strategic approach to this over the next few years to make it happen? Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Bear.
My name is Bear Miller, Denver, Colorado, and I look at it, we're here celebrating 50 years of our organization. And when we first started, there was a lot of controversy, there was a lot of things, and there was a lot of passion. And I look in this room and I see passion on both sides of this whole thing, but I'm also looking at the fact that we're tending to get better at listening to each other and paying attention, and at least having the courtesy to be able to listen to both sides and make their own decisions. But I am truly in favor of this. I think we need to change as we go. We need to progress with the life. So anyway, thank you for your time, and I'm truly positive. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. John.
John Harden, Caledonia, Illinois. In our area, we use basically this, the way the proposal is put out as we use SSD and when people move to Plus. I want to give you one more thing to think about, and that's attrition rate in your classes. In the last, I would say, 10 SSD classes I've run, I think over 10 classes I've maybe had 2 or 3 students drop out. What is the attrition rate in our current lesson programs when you do the full lessons? Consider that. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Tony.
Doesn't look anything like I thought it would look. Nobody's fighting, which is good. Sumter, South Carolina, Florence, South Carolina, Conway, South Carolina, St. George, South Carolina, Walterboro, South Carolina, Hartsville, South Carolina, Lancaster, South Carolina, Chester, South Carolina, Pageland, South Carolina, Manning, South Carolina, Clinton, South Carolina, Newberry, South Carolina, Greer, South Carolina, Hardyville, South Carolina. All had bustling clubs prior to 2000. Now there are 0 clubs in any of those cities. South Carolina is not a very big state. To have that many cities, blues clubs, something is wrong. I speak in favor of this proposal because it gets us off of center. I don't know if the proposal is right, but I do know that what we've been doing is wrong. That being said, I will support, and I urge you to support, whatever the decision of this body makes. I speak in favor of the proposition. If we vote the proposition down, I will support that as well. I urge you to do the same.
Thank you, Tony. Jack.
Good morning, everybody. I'm in favor of the proposition. I'm in favor of supporting whatever the vote becomes, yes or no. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. We can't keep doing that, guys. We just can't keep doing it. We need to move forward. I was never, and I'm very honest about this, I was never in favor of voting in SSD. Not because of the proposition or the reasoning behind the SSD, because I didn't want to see competing levels, competing in programs that started our activity. We need a standardized program of 1 mainstream, 1 plus, 1 advanced. I'm in favor of this proposition. It's the only way this activity can go forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chad. Patty?
I echo Tony and Jack's sentiments. I look around in North Carolina, and I'm sure all of you can look around your states and see clubs that are no longer there. The Charlotte area, we used to have a bunch of bustling clubs, and now there are 1, 2, maybe 4 or 5, maybe 4. There will be changes, and change is painful, as we've said. But we're going to have to work through them. You know, the founding fathers worked through them. I'm sure there was a lot of gnashing of teeth and when they set up the list initially. And it's time for a change. And this is one way that we can get the big picture changed. If you want to work on what it looks like at the end of the day, then I urge you to join a committee and make your voice known immediately if this passes in a positive way. If you don't care, or not care isn't the right word, please support whatever the majority goes with. And if you do care and you want to have a say, I know everybody's arguing about the minutiae, join a committee, be active, and let your voice be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Sean?
Shauna Carey, of course I'm going to speak in favor of the proposal. I want to just remind a couple of things. Ted has kind of been the face of this proposal, and he's done a great job getting the word out about what it is. But in fact, this came from the Board of Governors, and the Board of Governors voted unanimously for this. And you can imagine with a group of people to find a unanimous vote, it's almost unheard of. And yet we all got behind it. And my husband, who was here, I told a story last year about a dance he had gone to. It was a new dancers hoedown, like a halfway dance. And the clubs in an area, one was doing Club 50 at the time, another caller was teaching kind of their list that was going to get them to a certain place, and another one was doing a little standard. And he got there and he had a group of halfway dancers, and nobody knew what that was, and he didn't know what to call. And a 40-year plus experienced caller, imagine if that had been a newer caller, what would they have had to do? And when he saw the first video that took those multiple lists and combined it into 2, he told me, I'm going to give Ted a kiss on the forehead. And that just reminded me, kiss is the right thing here. We need to keep it simple. Stupid. There's another one. Keep it simple. It's not about what the list is. It's about the one entry point everywhere and keeping it simple.
Thank you, Sean.
Barry Johnson, now from southern Minnesota. We're here for the 50th convention. 50 years ago, we started building these lists. 50 years we've been doing this. Yes, they've changed a little bit over time. But around us, over the last 50 years, our society has changed. Our generations have changed. We can't keep moving forward with the things that worked 2 and 3 generations ago. My children aren't interested in square dancing because it's too long, too much, too complicated. We need to reposition this activity for the future generations so we can be here 50 years from now.
Thank you, Barry. No, sir, you want to look to my gun?
Motion to close debate.
Is there a second? That's what I'm supposed to say, they said. Thanks. We have a second. All right, so, sorry, this is not my, that's why I got Debbie, trust me. All right, so we have a second on a motion to close the debate at this point in time. So we have to have, Sergeant at Arms, are you ready? We have to have a count. So all in favor of closing the debate at this point in time, you would raise your vote card. If you'd like to continue the discussion, you do not vote in favor. So for right now, are you in favor of closing the discussion? Put your vote card up now, please. vote card down when they point at you. All right, next we will have all opposed. In other words, you would like to continue the discussion. You are able to abstain as well. So all that would like to continue the discussion.
Hey.
Play nice, play nice. Are there any abstentions to this vote? Yeah, put it in the minutes.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right, you got it.
9. That's good, yes.
That's appropriate. We're just doing my job. All right, the discussion will continue in a 96 to 52 vote with 9 abstentions. We left off over there. I will continue with Mr. Klasper.
Barry Klasper.
You broke it.
I broke it. What is now known as SSD didn't just come along a few years ago. It's been roughly 2 decades of formation. And what it was an experiment to see if we could figure out how we might do something differently. And the experiment has been running for a few years now, and it's produced some results that give us information that we can now act on. So some people regard it as a mistake. It wasn't a mistake, it's an experiment. And by the very nature, experiments mean that you get some good results, you get some bad results, you learn from the bad ones, and you build on the good ones. With the work that Ted and his team have done over the last couple of years, they've built a momentum that has been steadily growing, that we're ready for a change. That doesn't happen very often. When you're ready for a change, you can either pull back and say, oh, I'm worried that this change may not work out. But think about what our founding fathers had to do. They were in the same position, they knew something was wrong, they knew they had to do something, but they weren't sure exactly where it was going to go. They were bold. We need to be bold now. We have the momentum, let's seize it. You want this?
Thank you, Mayor. Rich?
All right, it is my turn. I'm Rich Reel from California, Northern California. No, never mind, you timed me. So I have 2 points. Basically, I think, generally religion and Christianity and stuff like that is a little bit sliding down. And there are these new reform, like Christian center kind of churches, but the big overarching organization didn't just like burn all the other churches down and said, hey, we're just going to have these new churches. They had allow the new churches to compete with the old one, which is what I prefer. I'm a little concerned about the loss of long-standing mainstream programs, which could be a destination level in different areas. The difference, to me, is in the conventions and in the big open dances. If the convention halls provide dancing at lower than plus, they may have to decide to have two halls, a mainstream hall and an SSD hall, or whatever this new program is going to be called. I can see that from the dancers' point of view, they are voting with their feet. They want plus. If you take a look at any program below plus, it has never really been popular at the, is that it?
All right, thank you, Rich.
Michael Levy, San Francisco. I honestly came in here undecided on the fence about which way to go, but I had to kind of look inside. I actually had a really good friend, Caller, try to convince me last week to vote no. I understand the concerns of people who are against the proposal, but we really need to do something that's going to save this activity and our community. The problem that people are calling out with the proposal, they're true. This is not a perfect solution. But I have seen that SSD works. SSD has not been used the way it was intended as a standalone, isolated program. People have used it as a stepping stone to plus and literally finished an SSD class and then start them on plus. So that did no benefit, honestly. So what the proposal's trying to do is slow it down so people will dance at this program. SSD or mainstream, whatever we want to call it. I don't love the name of mainstream for the confusion. I understand that point. But we as leaders in this activity need to support this program. It has worked everywhere it's been used, and help slow that rush to plus. Let people dance the program, it will happen.
Scott?
Scott Pierce from Greenville, California. I speak in favor of the proposal, and like Michael, I have wavered some. I agree 100% and I support what the EC is trying to do with this and the concept of the proposal, what they're trying to accomplish. I don't think all the details are right, and even Ted has said in some of his presentations, if you don't think it should have the name mainstream, vote it down. If you don't think plus should be required to have 50 calls, vote it down. I tend to disagree with Ted on that particular point. I would hate to see us take a concept that we approve and that we endorse and vote it down because I don't like the name mainstream. That seems like kind of a silly reason to oppose a concept that I approve. So if you're one of those people, I would encourage you to not think about the details of the proposal, but think about the concept and what they're trying to accomplish.
Smell like we're on fire.
Thank you, Scott.
Doesn't sound like a fire drill.
I'm just going to hold you until the bells stop ringing. Oh, we're good. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Laura McDaniel from North Shore Squares. You might know us from our videos, Evanston, Illinois. I'm here as the voice of the young caller. Even though I have gray hair, I've been in this activity for less than 10 years. I am part of a group of callers who have grown up in SSD. I've only been in an SSD club. We teach classes at 3 levels, Intro SSD, Fundamentals, and Blue Ribbon, which is an extension as a prep into Plus. It slows things down. We have almost 100 members, and we have been very successful with that program. So I hope that the essence of many of the components of SSD that's great will continue in whatever we call it and however many calls we have. But here's the other thing I want to tell you. Even though I have gray hair, I am 55 years old. I don't have 30 years to learn how to do this. I have a master's degree in teaching, and I am a semi-professional musician, so I bring lots of skills, but I don't have everything that you guys have had for so many years, and I'm not going to get there. But that doesn't mean that I can't be helpful and effective in growing the activity, but you got to help me. You got to help me. I can't have multiple programs because it just confuses the dancers, and I need to be able to show that square dance is moving forward and is not what some of the stereotypical pieces could be, though I respect the tradition and I honor where we have come from. It's a big hurdle. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Mickey Braithwaite from overseas, and I started square dance as a kid. And we had a program called Mainstream, and you could dance worldwide. And I would like to see whatever is the outcome, and I'm a strong supporter of this proposal, because we need unity. Whatever is decided should be carried by everyone in this room. And I developed a slogan which I think maybe puts it to a kind of a really meaning. And it is to learn somewhere, but be home everywhere. That means wherever you learn in the world, you can dance everywhere and be welcome. And keeping that in mind, I think this would be a wonderful thing for beginner callers, for the current callers, for the dancers, and new dancers to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. John Marshall, Virginia. I've been on the fence for the entire convention over this earlier. And what I think has swayed me is that, like as Michael pointed out, SSD was designed for something else. In the first place, my understanding was for areas where square dancing didn't exist, that would allow them to get involved in the activity, not be in competition with other clubs in the area. That's what I understand. Now, it has taught us something, however. To me, it turned into a recruiting program for the other programs, for Mainstream, and it was used that way. So that there's a message there. It's like, okay, that's been working for them more and more, and so that tells us something. It tells us that the desire for an easier way to get in works. So the fact that we're combining it, you know, we're not talking about adding great burdens, and again, I don't like the division, too many divisions in the activity. We all know that the Rush for Plus or A1 or whatever program it is a real thing. But this would help put somewhat of brakes on that. But we have evidence now, as the activity has been, the SSD has been proving to us that it has value. So if we're going to take that and try to have the unity at the same time, not fractionalizing the dancers to many different places, then this would seem to me to be the direction we need to go in. So, thank you. I figured that we're there. I figured we're as close to it as we're going to get. There are other details. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to do so, May. I know we've all had various conversations with our dancers, mixed emotions, mixed feelings, mixed results from those conversations. I look at why do we even have lists in the first place? And for me, it's about trust. When I go to a dance and I call it, I can trust the dancers know the calls that are advertised. The dancers can trust that I, as the caller, am only going to use the calls that are advertised. And I think in order to make this work, that trust has to stay maintained. And this room full of leaders can keep that trust going. Thank you, Mike.
Jeremy Butler, Virginia. How many of you have ever called, and you're sitting there and you're calling, you put out a call and you got that one dancer that just won't move. You just go nowhere. Well, I have a caller friend of mine, and he usually says to those dancers, if you're not sure where you're going, go somewhere. And they have to go somewhere. I can fix you if you go somewhere. If you don't move, I can't do anything with you, right? So the idea is we need this, we need to do something. The call has been given. Let's go. Let's go there. And it may not be exactly the right direction, but we can course adjust. It's fine, but we have to go somewhere.
Thank you. Glenn Rogerson from Austin, Texas. I want my wife back on the dance floor. My wife has physical issues that make it painful for her to dance. And the Rush to Plus has made the floor such that it isn't worth it to her anymore. And we all know that the Rush to Plus has weakened our floors, weakened our mainstream floors, weakened our plus floors. And this isn't the total answer, but it's a good start. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
Call the question. Second.
Hold on, I'm just going to ask, is there anybody else at this point? Because if we call the question, then we got to do the whole vote thing again before we do the whole vote thing again, right?
Right.
Give me a second. Last chance. Okay. First of all, I'd like to point out and thank everybody. You know, we were close to a minute on most of them. Some under, some a little over, but still, I tried to get everybody to get their sentence and thing out of them. So I do appreciate your holding to that for us. Okay. Seeing as nobody else would like to step up to the microphone, here's what we got. Be it resolved that the resolution to update the program policy statement be approved. Sergeant at Arms, to assist with the vote counts, we will start with all in favor. Again, leave your vote card up until you're pointed at, please. All in favor.
Pay attention, South Carolina.
All right, the second half of this is all opposed. Cards up, please. And lastly, anybody that is abstaining.
I got you. I got you.
We got you, Jim.
I got you, Jim.
All right, in a vote of 153 to 14 with 3 abstentions, the motion is approved. As is the case for all of these votes, a ballot will be sent to all voting members to confirm the vote following this convention. So if you change your mind, you'll get something in the mail. Either way, so that will be coming as well. The chair may make some brief remarks. Honestly, I'm just tired of talking. Again, I appreciate everybody, the civility of it. I appreciate the thought behind it. I know it was a lot of decision for all of you, either way. And again, try to get on a committee, let's see what we can make happen. And I appreciate everybody's thoughts on both sides of the coin, so thank you very much. All right, we're going to move along to the Board of Governors petition. Now, we would like to acknowledge members who have submitted petitions to run for the board in the upcoming July election. July. Somebody asked me last night, said it was September, and I told them July, and they told me no. Did Mr. Hudson that? Anyways, they are. And by the way, as I'm calling your name, if you would like to speak on the microphone again, as I call your name, please come up. You have a chance to talk if you'd like. Keep it brief if you would. Philip Hoff, Sean Brown, Walt Burr, Jeremy Butler, Brad Caldwell, Dennis Clark, Travis Cook, Tom Davis, Barry Johnson, Vernon Jones, Charlie Petrick, Jack Platties, Bob Riggs, and Donnie Welch. So we'll allow each candidate in the room a moment to say a few words if they so desire. And again, we ask you to try to limit your comments to about a minute. I'll time you, because I know you guys like to talk. We should start with A, Mr. Hoff, but we will start with Mr. Brown, because he's younger. He's younger than you are. Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
My name is Sean Brown. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And my main reasoning for running for the board is, I believe that we could use some perhaps new perspectives from I hate to say younger generation, because even at this point I'm not as young as I used to be. But I believe with this resolution and the leadership that is required to implement this, I would truly love to be a part of that and help this organization in any way I can. And I have tremendous respect for this organization and the people in charge, so I would appreciate your votes.
Thank you, Sean. Philip?
So yeah, Philip, I'm from Germany. So I like to have a connection between Europe and the US, and have it more like a united thing. So we just had a dance. It was like one world, one dance, and I like to work on that.
Thank you, sir. Jeremy.
Jeremy Butler, Virginia. So yeah, I'm on the board currently, and I would like to continue to be on the board. I've been on there for one term now, and it's one of those things where you just start to get to know how things work and how things are going, and then it's like, whoa, God, I gotta run again. So I would appreciate your vote so that I can continue to serve on the board and get this activity back.
Thank you, Jeremy. Brad?
Brad Caldwell, Austin, Texas. And yes, I would like to serve on the Board of Governors. I'd like to get back to the activity. I've been excited about this moment that happened just moments ago since first learning of it. And I would very much like to be a part of the implementation and the planning that goes along with that. So I would ask for your vote. I'm Brad Caldwell, and I approve this message.
Thank you, Brad Caldwell. Walt.
Walt Burr, Munich, Germany, and in spite of the rumors, I do speak English. I was thinking, what in the world can I say to a group of people that love this activity so much that would convince you to return me to the board? I've done 2 terms previously. Being on the board means being ready to work, ready to answer the emails, answer the phone calls, and sometimes being ready to make the difficult decisions. And I'm asking for your vote because, to be quite honest, I'm ready. Thank you.
Thank you, Walt. Tom?
Tom Davis from the Dayton, Ohio area. I'm just now completing my first term. 3 years is just enough time to get your feet wet. It's just enough time to figure out what's going on, how the clock works, and how everything is put together. I would like to have your vote for another 3 years to be able to continue to work on what we worked on this past 3 years and the future of the square dancing and the future of this CALLERLAB convention. We have to do this together. We have to work together, each and every one of us. We have to have open minds and be able to work towards the resolve to make square dancing what it used to be and try to get it back to where we can really have a functioning activity. Thank you. I'd like your vote.
Thank you, Tom. Dennis.
Good morning. My name is Dennis Clark. I'm from Anderson, Indiana, which is kind of a suburb of Indianapolis. I first want to say I am so impressed with this organization and the way that this organization conducts themselves in times of difficulty and of disagreement. I have been on many boards over the years for professional, for other activities. And I walked in here this morning afraid that there were going to be arguments. I'm really impressed. Thank you. I have been dancing since the late 80s, early 90s, calling since the early 90s. Started out as a member of ECTA and come back to the States and be a part of this organization. I am now at a point in my life where I feel I can give back, and as much as this organization has given to me, I would like to return that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Charlie.
My name is Charlie Peterson from Atlanta, Georgia. I've been with CALLERLAB for 11 years now, in 2014. I'd like to be on the Board of Governors because I love what we do, and CALLERLAB is the reason I'm still a caller. I will tell you that 100%. And I'd like to serve and do more. I retired after 34 years in law enforcement, and I still want to be in charge. I appreciate your vote.
Thank you, Charlie. Travis.
Good morning, everybody. Travis Cook from the Louisville, Kentucky area. Man, it's an exciting time for our organization. A little bit scary, but mostly exciting. We got a lot to do. There's a lot of work to do. I'd be honored to serve, add my experience, my enthusiasm, and serve this organization any way I can. I appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. Jack.
Good morning, Jack Plays. I love my wife. I love my Lord Jesus Christ. I love this activity. And I love all of you in this room who are my cousins. If you went to the orientation session on Sunday morning with my wife there, she told you you were my cousins. If none of that convinced you that I want to be a part of this activity and I want to help make it go forward, the only other thing I can tell you is one of my best friends is Ted Lazat. And if that doesn't convince you, then I guess I don't get voted in.
You jumped the wrong day.
Yes, I find it refreshing when I hear young people like Sean say the board needs fresh new ideas and a young way of thinking. That's the exact same slogan I used back in 2000. And now we look around and we see that, well, there needs to be elder statesmen. Of which I am fulfilling that occupancy. I want to continue to serve CALLERLAB. I've served CALLERLAB on the Board of Governors for a long time. I think I'm the ranking member now. And I would like to continue doing that. And I would appreciate your consideration and your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm Dottie Welsh. I live in Nova Scotia, Canada. And I'm just looking at me, you can tell that I represent half of this population as being a woman. So there's that aspect. But I'm really pleased to see so many other people opting to venture forward and attempt to be on the board. I will be completing my 4th term on the board. So I guess that places me in the elder statesman category as well. But I feel I still have things to contribute, and I hope you will consider that when you vote.
Thank you, Donnie. Barry.
Well, if we have the youth movement and we have the elder statesman, perhaps I'm the one in the middle. It's been an honor serving on the Board of Governors for the last 2 terms. I'm really looking forward to helping implement things as we move forward, helping bring about change. It's something that I've been good at, skilled at doing for a number of years in my career. I retired from my day job last month, like Charlie. We're ready to get back more time to the organization. Thank you. Looking forward.
Thank you, Barry. Bob.
So I asked my wife about this, and she said, well, are you done? And I said, no, I'm not done yet. So I just supposedly retired from the board, so guess what? I'm running again. I'm doing it because I love this organization and I love the activity. And I spent two terms basically around the pandemic and 5 years on the executive committee trying to help the organization make it through the pandemic. I would like to return to the board and continue to represent all of you and all of square dancing on the Board of Governors. I appreciate your support.
Thank you, Bob. All right, just as an FYI, if you are interested in running for the board, you have until July 1st to get in everything you need to the home office. At this point in time, there are 14 people, if you were doing the math, that are running for 7 positions, which is honestly wonderful. It's nice to see that many people stepping up and wanting a shot. So you're going to have a hard decision when it comes your way, so way to go. And thank you to all 14 of those people for putting themselves out there. All right, is there anyone who wishes to bring any new business before the organization? I can skip the please state your name, but I can. Anything else for the good of the order? I'm looking at you like you've all been looking at me. How do you like it? Louis? Hi.
It's Richard there. I just basically want to say from the business side, I strongly support the decision. And I estimate that I'm going to spend over 1,000 hours, which I am already planning right now to update my website to point to all the new things that you're going to do. So I'm absolutely committed to our vote today. I'm just letting you know.
Is it all8.com? Is that what? Yeah.
It's on the page. Thank you very much.
Somebody else? No, I think he's just going to have a seat. Okay. Well, I'll be honest. I don't have any notes from here. She hasn't written anything down. Hold on. It says closing comments from the chair. Take all the time you want. I honestly thought we might be here a while. I honestly did. Again, I will echo what I said last night, regardless of how this went. I just wanted to make sure that we all realize that the family needs to stay together to make whatever happens work. I know some of you didn't get what you wanted, and I'm sure it's, hopefully, regardless, we're all going to try to figure this thing out as we move forward. I appreciate everybody's involvement for the past year. The questions, the answers, the reach outs, the discussions, the arguments, and so forth. It needed to happen, and I can't thank you all enough for your time and your efforts through everything we've done. So, please, thank you very much. I'm here to ask you to leave your vote cards with a team member. Team members will be raising their hands in the back right now. They have some boxes. So on your way out, please leave that. And now, thank you for coming. We hope to see you next year at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, Nevada for the 51st CALLERLAB convention. Board, you will be meeting at 11. If there being no further business, I now will entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Does anybody opposed? Please travel safely, everyone. Thank you very much.